Right now at 6, a head-on crash in McDonald County kills 2 people and results in a DWI arrest.
And we've got opportunities for some pop-up storms once again this afternoon as temperatures heat up. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, investigators work to determine the cause of a Woodson County house fire.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday, September the 16th. Now just over the halfway mark through the month of September, putting us closer to fall. And I know here lately it has certainly not felt like fall, but that fall feeling is on the way.
Good.
It'll definitely feel like well, a little more like fall at least. It'll still be somewhat warm though. And we're going to start though with our live look outside. Let's get our Tuesday going. And downtown Pittsburgh looking pretty good this morning. And we're also looking good from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Taking a look at the future track. Pop-up storms return today. Now yesterday they were a little later in the day. Today future track is at least suggesting we could have 1, maybe 2 as early as noon. So our window for pop-up storm activity today is going to be between noon and 8. With the best chances for a few more pop-up storms out there between about 3 and 6, maybe 3 and 7. And then after we get past about 8 o'clock or so, pop-up storms clear on out. We'll have partly cloudy skies tonight with more rain chances as we head into our Wednesday and Thursday. We're sitting at 65 in both Joplin and Pittsburgh right now, and across the area, temperatures again still above average. We should be 60. We've got Yates Center as the warm spot up there at 71. Most of us in the mid to upper 60s to get our day started. Still looks like Fort Scott, though, is the cooler spot. Not by much. Tied with Chautauqua, I'm sorry. Both at 64 this morning. Kids getting out in the bus, heading out the door this morning, upper 60s, maybe a few clouds here and there. Pop-up storm chances initially very isolated, so most of us will be dry out there by lunch and recess time. Upper 80s, and as they head home again, a few pop-up storms. But remember, with pop-up storms, the majority of us will be dry. We'll go mid-70s by 9, upper 80s by noon. Our highs today right about 90 degrees or so, and winds will be calm or light and variable at best. Now, as I mentioned, though, more rain chances tomorrow. We have that cold front approaching. It's going to bring our temperatures back down a little bit. We'll talk about that and our weekend forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, 2 die in a head-on crash near Southwest City, Missouri, and 1 driver is arrested for driving under the influence. Troopers say the accident happened just after 4 Sunday when 1 vehicle attempted to pass and struck an oncoming vehicle head-on. A 60-year-old man and a woman, both from Anderson, Missouri, died at the scene. Others were flown by air ambulance to a local hospital. Both vehicles and debris shut down Missouri Highway 43 for nearly 5 hours. Southwest City Fire, McDonald County deputies, Tiff City Fire, and Freeman Ambulance responded to the scene. And troopers arrested this man, 18-year-old Lance Stockhauser of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, for DWI and the death of 2 or more people. He was transported to the McDonald County Jail. And investigators work to determine the cause of a Woodson County house fire that destroyed a 3-story home. According to the Woodson County Emergency Management, dispatchers with the Woodson County Sheriff's Office received a report of a structure fire in the area of 50th Road and Fox Road on Sunday. When responders arrived, a 3-story wood frame home was fully engulfed in flames. No one was inside. The house is considered a total loss. President Trump has signed an authorization to send what he calls a federal task force into Memphis, Tennessee to combat crime. He says it will be similar to the multi-agency federal action in D.C., which included deploying the National Guard. CBS's Nicole Valdez is in Memphis and reports on residents' reactions to the federal help.
Everything good for y'all today?
Good.
For 20 years, Mike Miller's owned Patrick's Restaurant in East Memphis. He's optimistic a federal task force could help make the city safer.
So you welcome the National Guard here?
Yes.
And for those who say they don't, what do you say?
This is an opportunity for us and for our city. I hope we make the most of it.
Mayor Paul Young is against it.
I want to be clear. I did not ask for the National Guard, and I don't think it's the way to drive down crime.
The Trump administration has already deployed Guard troops to Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. on a so-called mission to clean up crime. A CBS News data team review of FBI statistics showed that Memphis had the highest rate of violent crime of all major U.S. cities last year. But Memphis police data shows there was a decrease in violent crime in the first 9 months of this year. Ravonda Ligon's 23-year-old son, John Ryan Ingram, was shot and killed trying to break up a fight nearly 3 months ago.
If they're going to be a buffer between them and the police to help minimize the crime, then that's a great thing.
No one is really talking about the real root issues of crime.
Amber Sherman grew up here. The lifelong activist worries federal troops could do more harm than good.
I think it's also the wrong response, of course, to what's happening in Memphis, but also ignores all the work that we've been doing over the last 2-3 years to really make sure that community members have what they need so they aren't committing crimes.
While President Trump didn't say just how soon we could see those troops, he did say the effort will involve more than just the National Guard. Other agencies like the FBI, ATF, even the U.S. Marshals are too being tapped for this new task force. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, Memphis.
And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Israel escalates its Gaza offensive with mass evacuations. Plus, new research shows Americans would be healthier without daylight saving time. And we're tracking scattered thunderstorms in the 4 states. Chris has another look at your Tuesday forecast coming up. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 6:06. We'll be right back. But first, let's take a live look. Topping World Watch in the Middle East, where America's top diplomat met with Israel's prime minister in Jerusalem today. Their talks come just days after Israel launched an attack against Hamas leaders in Qatar, a key U.S. ally. CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Israel is escalating its offensive against Hamas in Gaza City, ordering mass evacuations as the battle intensifies. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu say peace in Gaza will only come when Hamas is destroyed and all hostages are released.
The people of Gaza deserve a better future, one that cannot begin until Hamas is eliminated and until all of the hostages, both living and deceased, are home.
But the united front comes as there's tense diplomacy behind the scenes. After Israel's surprise missile strike on Qatar last week, targeting Hamas leaders. The White House only found out as it was about to happen.
Obviously, we were not happy about it. The president was not happy about it. Now we need to move forward and figure out what comes next.
Arab and Muslim leaders are condemning Israel's bombing, holding an emergency summit in Doha. Qatar's prime minister said it's time for the world to stop double standards and punish Israel. President Trump's response, telling Qataris to work on their public image.
I said, you need better public relations because you don't really get the public relations. I mean, people talk of it so badly, and they shouldn't be.
Secretary of State Rubio travels to Qatar for meetings with Arab leaders on Tuesday. Then he'll fly here to London to join President Trump on a state visit, which includes dinner with the British royal family. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Well, still to come, real stories inspire entertainment. A look at a new Netflix series that highlights Marine boot camp. Plus, tracking scattered storms. Chris returns with another look at today's forecast. Good morning. I'm Elise Snowy with your KOAM News update. Authorities bring charges against an Arkansas man in connection to a fatal weekend crash in southwest Missouri. The crash happened just after 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon on Missouri 43. Now, troopers say a vehicle struck another oncoming vehicle as it attempted to pass. A man and woman from Anderson, Missouri, both 60 years old, died at the scene. Air and ground crews took several others for medical care to area hospitals. Troopers arrested 18-year-old Lance Stockhauser of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, for DWI and the death of 2 or more people. Former Mayor of Carl Junction's attorney claims the city cannot yet move forward with appointing a new mayor due to former Mayor Mike Moss filing a petition for judicial review. The city's attorneys also called the special meeting scheduled for tonight to fill the vacancy premature while the impeachment process is ongoing. This comes after the former mayor challenged his removal.
And we've got the opportunity for some pop-up storms again today between noon and 8, but the better window between about 3 and 6. Most of us, though, will remain dry and hot as we go right around 90 degrees again, back into the upper 60s overnight tonight, and we'll start cooling down as we head into the second half of the week.
Well, a new trailer is released for the upcoming biopic about The Boss, and Ed Sheeran gets playful following the release of his new album. Jared Hill has today's Eye on Entertainment.
I want to break free. 2 friends join a diverse group of recruits in the new Netflix dramedy Boots.
I've moved 12 times in the last 10 years. So.
You a military brat too?
Oh no, my mom just likes to flee the consequences of her actions.
Set in the tough, unpredictable world of the U.S. Marine Corps, the series follows a young, closeted gay man and his best friend as they navigate the literal and metaphorical landmines of boot camp during the Don't Ask, Don't Tell era. It's inspired by a true story and is the final project from the legendary producer Norman Lear. Boots hits Netflix October 9th. 4-time Grammy winner Ed Sheeran is getting back to pop with the recent release of his 8th studio album, Play.
I think after the last album I put out, Subtract, which was all about sort of grief and depression and stuff, I wanted to create something that was like super upbeat and positive.
Over the weekend, the British superstar surprised fans in New York with a pop-up concert where he performed some of his new songs.
You think I was born to ruin your life.
Sheeran live-streamed the hour-long event on TikTok, where it was watched by more than 1 million people. The singer-songwriter says he plans to tour U.S. stadiums with the new album.
Songwriting's a funny thing.
And Jeremy Allen White transforms into American rock icon Bruce Springsteen in the highly anticipated biopic Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. The film focuses on the making of Springsteen's 1982 cult album Nebraska, which the boss recorded on a 4-track recorder from his bedroom in New Jersey.
He's channeling something deeply personal.
Deliver Me From Nowhere hits theaters October 24th. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
All right, looks like a great film. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, an opportunity for some pop-up storms as we roll into the afternoon. Temperatures remaining hot, but relief is on the way. Details when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 6:17. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:19 now on this Tuesday morning. We're going to start with the future track because, as we've discussed this morning, once we get to about noon, start seeing a window for initially very isolated pop-up storms, but nonetheless, it starts a little earlier. The window today is from about noon to 8, with the best window for seeing a few more of these from about 3 to 6, 3 to 7. Again, they'll be very isolated, and as you can see, the majority of us are expected to remain dry as we head into the evening hours. Now, once we get past 8 o'clock, they go away. They were partly cloudy overnight, and then Wednesday starts to bring our changes, but Wednesday itself still not 100% certain on some of the computer data. So you're going to see what at this time looks like the most likely scenario, which is a good one. It's actually a very good scenario. But there's also the flip side where it may not play out exactly as you're about to see. It's something we're going to watch very carefully. So we have a cold front approaching. It's going to bring our temperatures back down. That's the great news. Now we also, we need some rain. Okay, that's where it gets a little more complicated. Now, right now, again, what you're about to see is the most likely scenario, but there's the chance that we don't see as much rain as is about to appear on the future track. By noon tomorrow, we start initially with some isolated pop-up storms, but you can see they quickly start to expand in coverage. So we've got a few more of them out there by about 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then we've got maybe even a few more a little later in the evening. So now we're talking not just pop-up storms, but possibly scattered storms. As you can see, there will still be areas where it's not raining, but we're looking at better rain chances tomorrow as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. And between late Wednesday into early Thursday, we've got better rain chances into Kansas and Oklahoma as this frontal boundary approaches. So we're looking at more scattered storms. Now again, we get a pause as you can see, but then a complex of storms expected out of Oklahoma, rolling into parts of our part of Oklahoma and into southeastern Kansas. And we'll have these scattered showers and storms again through the beginning of our Thursday, primarily in the western half of our area. As those begin to kind of die down, still some isolated showers and storms out there. Those continue through the evening. So here we are Thursday at 5, and then late Thursday, it looks like some of the activity that comes up the Will Rogers Turnpike could turn into a few scattered storms into southwestern Missouri as we had late Thursday into very early Friday before that activity clears out as well. Now, the other side of this is some data suggests we're going to get the rain with that cold front, but it may not be as widespread as you just saw in future tracks. So we're keeping our fingers crossed it's the other way because we do need some rain out there. The one thing, though, at least that's pretty much a guarantee at this point is our temperatures come back to normal. All right, starting about 70, should have clear skies, maybe a few clouds out there in parts of southeast Kansas. We'll go mid-80s by 11, and bear in mind that's where our average highs should be. We're looking at highs today about 90, isolated pop-up storms across the area. We'll go back to near 80 by 8, which is why that pop-up storm window continues through 8, and we're going to go upper 60s overnight tonight. And over the next few days, again, still hot tomorrow ahead of that front, low 90s, low to mid 90s really, but then take a look at these temperatures, low to mid 80s as we head from Thursday into the upcoming weekend. Next week, we do get a little warmer, so we're a bit above average, but not to 90, which is certainly good. Back to the mid to upper 80s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a new study reveals some of the hidden causes of heart attacks in adults under 65, especially for women. Mayo Clinic research found that more than half of heart attacks in adult women under 65 aren't caused by clogged arteries, but from non-traditional causes like embolism or other heart conditions. Now, the findings are significant because many of these non-traditional causes are often misdiagnosed. And social isolation has increased around the world since the COVID pandemic. A study published in JAMA showed that while the problem is growing in every part of the world, social isolation is reaching especially high levels in low-income nations. The study's authors say governments and health officials need to take action before this growing crisis, before it gets worse. Americans could be healthier if we got rid of daylight saving time. A Stanford study found the collective loss of an hour of sleep in March is linked to more heart attacks and fatal traffic accidents in the days after we make the switch. But there are long-term effects as well. The sudden change in the amount of light exposure we get weakens the circadian clock, which also means the immune system and energy levels are impacted as well. Well, a Minnesota family is turning their heartbreak into hope. Doctors have told them their 4-year-old won't make it to her teens. But despite the diagnosis, the family says they're not giving up. Barrett Leone shows us how they're fighting not only for their daughter's life, but also the lives of other kids just like her.
Go get it, honey.
These are moments the Bourne family wishes they could bottle up together as a family of 4.
It's been a really, really difficult year.
In March, doctors introduced Dan and Stephanie to a diagnosis they never heard of.
We knew it was bad. You could just see it in the doctor's eyes.
CLN2 Batten disease, a rare, progressive, and terminal neurodegenerative disorder that has no cure.
Never thought that our world would come crashing down with a diagnosis.
At least, not yet.
We can't accept this. We can't live with this. There has to be another option, and we're going to go find it.
The Bournes decided they wouldn't wait for hope. They'd create it.
The first nights after the diagnosis, there was just this beautiful pink sky. Helen's always loved pink. She would point at it. I remember Steph, one of the first nights, said that's a sign from God. That he's going to take care of Helen.
With Helen's Pink Sky Foundation, they've raised $1 million for Batten research, a momentum they plan to keep climbing.
I think we're challenging things in certain ways that people haven't seen before, that we're going to get a different outcome, and I will think nothing less than us finding a cure.
We're fighting every day for Helen, and we're going to continue to fight for Helen. We can't accept anything else.
A family rewriting what's possible and a hope worth fighting for. Barrett Leone, CBS News.
Every 2 weeks, Helen gets an enzyme treatment at the Mayo Clinic to help slow the progression of the disease. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, court proceedings may put the brakes on filling the vacant mayor's seat in Carl Junction.
And we've got an opportunity for some pop-up storms out there again this afternoon. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, see how the Carl Junction community is taking new measures to reduce school bus violations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday, September the 16th, just over halfway through the month of September, inching closer to official fall. And it's going to eventually start to feel like fall again across the 4 states. But we've still got a couple more days of whatever this business of second summer is. Believe me, I did not order it. I asked for a refund. I tried to return it, and Mother Nature said no. I was a little upset. I even had the receipt and everything, and she still said, sorry, no returns, no refunds or exchanges. But it's almost over, so that's good. That's very good. We're going to start, though, with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and there it is. Looking pretty good so far this morning. We are seeing something, which I'll take a look at and update you on a little bit later. It's kind of interesting in terms of some rain that's out west of us, but it's pretty close. And it's one of those fun situations, again, where technically it's not supposed to be there, but it is. So we'll look at that a little later, just see where it's going, what's going on with it. But on camera 20th and Range Line looking good as well this morning. Now on to what we are expecting later today. Between noon and 8, we're going to have a window for isolated pop-up storms. At noon, you can see this is why we're going with the window from noon to 8. We could get 1, perhaps 2. We could get a few more. The better window for a few more of these, again, that's not going to be many, is going to be from about 3 to 6, maybe 3 to 7. And then by 8 o'clock or so, these will begin winding down and will clear out as we head into the overnight hours. We're sitting at 65 in Joplin as well as Pittsburgh, and across the region, and bear in mind, average low is 60. I don't see a single 60 out there, do you? We'll take a second. Oh, there are no 60s. No 60-degree readings, okay? We're mid-upper 60s. Yates Center, still the warm spot, sitting at 70 this morning. So kids getting on the bus will be into the upper 60s. A few clouds out there, some pop-up storms, lunch recess time. Again, initially quite isolated. We'll be into the upper 80s, and then a few more of those pop-up storms for at least some of us as the kids head home later today. Heading for the mid-70s by 9, upper 80s by noon. Our highs today right about 90 degrees, and this right here is where our average highs should be for this time of year. Now, it's still going to be hot tomorrow. Then the cold front arrives, and it makes some minor changes for us. We'll go over those details with you and take a look at some of this rain out west here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, driving violations are piling up in Carl Junction just weeks into the school year. The Carl Junction School District has seen an unusual uptick in the amount of drivers committing stop arm violations when passing school buses. Despite school starting just a few weeks ago, there have been at least 25 violations reported to law enforcement, with even more that could have gone unreported.
I think people just don't want to wait a minute to wait on the school bus. We've had ones that you can see as they go by, they're on their cell phones. Other people will, yell at us as they run through the stop sign. They just feel that they're entitled to go and they don't want to wait.
At the moment, there have not been any injuries reported resulting from these violations, though the district still wants to make sure that none occur in the future. The recent impeachment of Carl Junction's mayor creates ongoing legal turmoil for the city. A statement from the city's attorneys indicates the city cannot yet move forward with appointing a new mayor due to former Mayor Mike Moss filing a petition for judicial review. The city's attorney also calls the special meeting scheduled for tonight to fill the vacancy premature while the impeachment process is ongoing. However, the impeachment board will meet during tonight's council meeting. Now, this comes weeks after the former mayor challenged his removal. His attorney says the council acted wrongfully by removing the mayor without evidence of wrongdoing. This latest move halts the council's efforts to fill the mayor's seat. Without a legally recognized vacancy, the city will remain mayorless until the courts rule on Moss's challenge. Well, Jasper County has seen an increase in the number of foster kids in the area, coinciding with an increase of child abuse cases in the county. Now, while foster parents are always in demand, officials in Jasper County find the need is even greater in the fall. According to CASA and the Jasper County Court, they receive more calls for help as students return to the classroom. CASA says Jasper County currently ranks 98th out of 113 counties in Missouri for child welfare. Officials say the cause of this issue could range from abuse and neglect to educational neglect and more.
The state of Missouri has done a lot of prevention work in the last year, and so we're seeing that sometimes prevention doesn't always track or pan out for some of these cases, and that's what unfortunately brings kids into foster care.
Also an uptick because of school attendance and kids not being present. That can also maybe get Children's Division involved where they wouldn't be in the summertime.
CASA says they are always in need of volunteers. They recommend reaching out to them if you would like to help. Missouri American Water recognized an area trade school yesterday with the check presentation. The utility company presented $15,000 to the Franklin Technology Center in Joplin, as well as Joplin school representatives. Missouri American presented the check on behalf of the American Water Charitable Foundation. FTC says the grant will be used for programs including auto technology, collision repair, HVAC, machine tools, CNA, and computer information systems programs. Missouri American says the grant serves as a way to help build a future workforce in the area.
What we're experiencing within our own industry is over the next 5 to 7 years, we're looking at losing between 25 and 40% of our own workforce. And a lot of those career fields focus on science and technology and a lot of similar things that Franklin Tech offers. So from that vantage point, we're just looking to build the labor pool up in those areas.
Now, this year, the American Water Charitable Foundation awarded more than $750,000 through workforce readiness and STEM education grant programs. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The YouTube sensation Hot Ones comes to Popeyes. Plus,
with the deadline quickly approaching, the future of TikTok is uncertain. We'll speak with 3 local businesses and we'll ask them what they plan to do if a deal is not reached in time. I'm Ty Parks and we'll have that story coming up.
We'll be right back. Time now 6:36. But first, here's a live look from Stebbins Memorial Park in Sarcoxie. Link Consumer Watch, the U.S. Senate has confirmed economist and Trump advisor Stephen Myron to the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors, giving President Trump more influence at the central bank. The same day, a federal judge rejected the Trump administration's bid to remove Fed governor member Lisa Cook. The president has tried to oust Cook over allegations of mortgage fraud, which she denies. This all comes as the Fed kicks off its two-day meeting today to decide its next move on interest rates. And the Department of Transportation has ordered Delta Airlines and Aeromexico to wind down their 9-year cooperation agreement by January 1st. The department says the move is necessary because of ongoing anti-competitive effects. Delta expressed disappointment in the decision, warning that it could harm American jobs. Delta also says it's considering next steps and that flights will continue to operate as normal for now. Delta is expected to keep its 20% stake in Aeromexico. And Popeyes has teamed up with the popular YouTube series Hot Ones. The collab brings some of the show's iconic hot sauces to add enough spice to suit each level of taste, from the mild sizzling sriracha dippers to the hot Dare and Dab ghost wings. And for those looking to kick it up a notch, there's the Last Dab, the hottest sauce in the Hot Ones universe. Well, many people use the popular app TikTok for everything from social fun to marketing a business, but that could soon change. KOAM's Ty Park spoke with 3 businesses that use TikTok and found out how their plans will change should the app go dark.
TikTok is uncertain. The current deadline is September 17th. Joplin Chamber of Commerce tells KOAM that they use the app to attract younger audiences.
Using TikTok has been really helpful for us to educate and make people aware of the amazing things that Joplin has to offer as far as quality of life, and it allows us to reach a different audience.
Choose Joplin page allows the chamber to reach an audience that would otherwise be untouched.
If the app does go dark, I would say probably naturally people will start shifting to other platforms. We do have a strong presence on Facebook and Instagram. I would say right now we don't do a lot on YouTube Shorts, so that may be something we would look into.
IC story is titled, "Am I the Astronaut for Admitting to Something?"
Another business that has seen growth due to TikTok is Dusty Thunder with Storm Cloud Marketing, who has seen recent TikTok fame.
Like, we're at the mercy of all these different content platforms. We're at the mercy of legislation. We're at the mercy of a lot of different things. So we have to adapt quickly no matter what. I think one of the most important things that we have to do as content creators is diversify.
One small business that has seen an increase in sales due to TikTok is Front Page on Main Street in Joplin.
A lot of our advertising, so we do daily things on Facebook actually, and everything goes to TikTok at that point, so that we can hopefully increase our outreach and reach people that are not aware of this local gym. The thing about a small business like us, we just have to roll with the punches. So I'm just telling you, if something happens there, we will pick up something else and make that work for us. So hopefully everything just keeps going like it is right now, but I know that we can make it work one way or the other.
Each business we spoke to today is hopeful the app will stay, but is ready to switch gears if it goes dark. In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Well, a framework deal with China is reportedly in the works. The current deadline for a decision on the app is September 17th, which is tomorrow. That's a look at Consumer Watch. Here's Chris now with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got an opportunity for some pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures remaining unseasonably hot across the area, but some good news on the way as we've got the potential for a cold front and cooler weather by the second half of this week. Details on all of that when we come back. All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're starting in Pittsburgh with Eliza Massa celebrating birthday number 4. Says the family loves you to the moon and back from Kent and Mona Brumbaugh.
And in Carl Junction, a happy 9th birthday to Kenzie Fecky. It says here, Daddy, Mommy, Willa, and Nana love you.
And in Parsons, Dirk Blackburn celebrating birthday number 11. Says we love you, Angel, from Nana and Papa.
And a happy 18th birthday to Amanu Harrigan in Pittsburgh.
And Cooper O'Brien celebrating birthday number 18 today. Happy birthday, Cooper.
And a happy 25th birthday to Kaylee Ware in Pittsburgh. It says here, happy birthday, dearest granddaughter. Mama loves you.
And we've got Chandler Coles celebrating birthday number 25. It says, love you from Mom, Sean, Hunter, and Grayson.
And a happy 33rd birthday to Aaron Brumbaugh in Pittsburgh. It says, family loves you, Moon. And back with Kent and Mona Brumbaugh.
And we've got Pat Armitage celebrating birthday number 79 in Parsons. Happy birthday, Pat.
And in Cherokee, a happy 91st birthday to Nora Lee Chad. It says, happy birthday from the Crestline girls.
And Mary Geyer celebrating another year wiser, says, wishing you the happiest of birthdays in a year filled with love, laughter, and endless blessings. Have a wonderful open house today. Well, happy birthday, Mary.
And in Girard, a happy birthday to Judd Bailey.
And we've got Johnny Tram in Girard as well, celebrating birthday number 16 with love from your daughter. All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise has information you want to take down.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include the wonderful photos and messages and to also meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen.
There's very important information there. And we've got some important weather information for you this morning. Simply because you see the Skywatch Storm Tracker and you see it's running and you see showers and storms in our western counties. And I'm right now, if you give me just a second here, I'm just double checking something, making sure I'm not crazy. Okay, I'm not crazy. I was just checking the short range data, the ones that go hour by hour for today. Yeah, those storms aren't there. They're not showing up. And we know they're real because I've talked about how radar sometimes you get those bad returns. We know they're real because we have a now old lightning strike from that particular storm. They're just outside of our area, and looking at this radar loop in motion, they don't really seem to be moving. They appeared really to be pop-up storms, but at 6:48 in the morning. A little bit of an oddity there, but nonetheless, they are there. And like I said, I was just off to the side. I was just refreshing the latest data to see if maybe something changed or I missed something this morning. It's possible. You get here 3:30 in the morning. It's easy to miss something, but I did not. Those storms aren't showing up on any of the latest data, did not show up earlier this morning. So again, they're not really moving. They do seem to be truly pop-up storms. We'll keep an eye on them and see if they trigger any other additional storms out there because we weren't expecting any this morning. I love Mother Nature. Don't you folks at home love her too? Because I swear she only messes with me. Doug is Doug Hetty. I think he controls Mother Nature, but me, I'm not Doug Hetty, okay? And so she's like, hey, I'm going to mess with that Chris guy at 3 o'clock in the morning. Watch this. And that's what happens. So we'll see what those do. Now, what we are expecting and what has been showing up on the data for us today is more pop-up storms this afternoon. Could see them as early as noon, fairly isolated out there, assuming what's taking place out west doesn't have an impact on that. Our window for pop-up storms, based on what we have in front of us here, is going to be from noon to 8 with a slightly better window from about 3 to 6, 3 to 7, where we could get a few more than just 2. But as you can see, they're still quite isolated. The majority of us will remain dry as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. After 8, they clear out. We're done. We're partly cloudy overnight. Then we get into Wednesday. Yes, not Monster Truck Day by any means, but it is a good day. Now, it's going to be hot. All right, it's still going to be hot ahead of this cold front. As this cold front approaches, initially isolated pop-up storms by tomorrow afternoon, but take a look at how quickly they begin to expand in coverage. Now, there is also, I've told you earlier this morning, there is some data that suggests we may not get the same coverage in storms that we're seeing here, but this right now seems to be the most likely scenario. But keep in mind, these are still scattered. There's plenty of locations that may not see really much of anything in terms of rain tomorrow, but we'll have these scattered storms continuing as we head through the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours as well, with a complex out of north central Oklahoma moving into southeast Kansas early Thursday morning. Not expecting anything severe at this point, but could lead to some more scattered showers and storms, especially into Kansas and Oklahoma on Thursday. And then by late Thursday evening, could get a few newer storms that develop along I-44 and lift off to the northeast overnight. So that's what we've got in terms of rain chances. That cold front, of course, bringing us cooler weather, which we'll talk about in just a moment. We'll also have your wake up recap. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., U.S. officials say they've made a deal ahead of the looming TikTok ban. That story more at 7.
Well, this is your wake up recap for September 16th. The top stories to start your day. Authorities bring charges against an Arkansas man in connection to a fatal weekend crash in southwest Missouri. The crash happened just after 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon on Missouri 43. Troopers say a vehicle struck another oncoming vehicle as it attempted to pass. A man and woman from Anderson, both 60 years old, died at the scene. Air and ground crews took several others for medical care to area hospitals. Troopers arrested 18-year-old Lance Stockhauser of Siloam Springs, Arkansas for DWI and the death of 2 or more people. And 2 people are behind bars after a crash and stolen vehicle investigation in Pittsburgh. Police responded to a collision yesterday morning at Locust Street in Jefferson, where an 18-year-old Pittsburgh man driving a reportedly stolen silver Ford Fusion ran a stop sign and hit a Toyota 4Runner. The suspect fled on foot to a residence. There, he threw objects at officers and threatened to shoot them. His mother arrived and interfered with police. Both were arrested. The son faces multiple felony charges, including aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. The mother is charged with felony interference. Both remain in jail without bond. And a former mayor of Carl Junction's attorney claims the city cannot yet move forward with appointing a new mayor due to former Mayor Mike Moss filing a petition for judicial review. The city's attorney also calls the special meeting scheduled for tonight to fill the vacancy premature while the impeachment process is ongoing. This comes weeks after the former mayor challenged his removal. His attorney says the council acted wrongfully by removing the mayor without evidence of wrongdoing. This latest move halts the council's efforts to fill the mayor's seat. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got the opportunity for some pop-up storms this afternoon between about noon and 8. But again, most of us will be dry and hot as we go about 90 with partly cloudy skies. Once those wrap up, we're mid-70s by 10, upper 60s overnight tonight with partly cloudy skies. A few more pop-up storms, maybe even some scattered storms tomorrow afternoon, evening, overnight, and into Thursday as a cold front approaches and puts our temperatures back where they're supposed to be. A few pop-up storms Friday, Saturday, low mid-80s. A little warmer again next week, but not to 90. Mid to upper 80s. More rain chances next Monday and Tuesday.
All right, and coming up today at noon, we're making chili mac and cheese in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Details on a major development in the battle over TikTok that may keep the popular app from shutting down.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, the features gaming companies are putting in place to keep younger gamers safe online.
And the future of the nearly $9 million Splash Park project in Joplin that has been in the works for more than 4 years. No, that's a big plan that people have been looking forward to, trying to get sorted out for the Ewart pool out there, the smallest pool in the city.
Wow.
It is. We'll, of course, have more news and weather for you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll, of course, see you today at noon.